You said to factor out 7c. Why can't I factor out 7c squared? Only the 1c. I agree. Jennifer says because this term only has 1c. How are you going to factor out 2 if everybody doesn't have 2? Okay, what would I be left with? What's left inside the parentheses? The sooner we do this, the sooner we get to the fun. C squared. Plus 5 and then what? Somebody needs to thank Ellie this morning because she, besides Jennifer, she definitely handled that bell ringer. Thank you, Ellie. We are not going to do the second bell ringer today, not because it's not important, but just because I want to spend a majority of our time on this match game. You picked up 7 free notes on the way in. So let's recap what's been going on. In 7-1, there were 3 vocab terms. What were the 3 vocab terms? Ratio, proportion, and scale factor. With a proportion, you actually had to cross multiply. Ratio was normally with a word problem. And scale factor, we were doing like smaller versions of things to bigger versions, like my tiny Eiffel Tower to the big Eiffel Tower. Okay, and in the past 2 days, we've been talking about something else. What is that? What was in 7-2? We did similarity statements because we were talking about similar polygons. So that was one of the vocab terms we needed, was how to write a similarity statement, like triangle ABC, similar to triangle DEF. That was a similarity statement. But you only get to write that kind of a statement if the shapes are similar. What makes 2 shapes similar? What makes 2 shapes similar? Tell me what they have that's the exact same. They have the same angles. And what are we able to calculate with their sides lengths? Like we do, I don't see any sides, like 38 over 44 and 32 over 36 and 27 over 49, and we kept calculating something. What were we calculating? The scale factor. So if we can find the scale factor, then they must be similar shapes. If you recall all that, and yeah, you need to know those vocab terms, then you're good to go for now. And in fact, I would claim today your wildest dreams are coming true. I know that sounds like a bit ridiculous, but in some ways it's true. So, do you remember when we were doing triangle congruence, we would write triangle ABC as congruent to triangle DEF? In fact, Ms. Compton talked about how a congruent statement and a similarity statement, they looked exactly alike, except one had a similar symbol and one had a congruent symbol. When we were doing triangle congruence, what were the 5 postulates we needed? Let's list them. Let's make sure we recall those, because Lord knows they'll come back to haunt us one day, like today. Okay, I'm ready. Side, side, side. What else? Side, angle, side. I need more. The 2 girls with the phones. You got to help us and get productive now, not you. There are 3 more. ASA. And then there's one left, and it does not involve A's and S's. HL, hypotenuse leg. Thank you, Kevin. Save the day. Okay, we're going to talk about some of these or the ones we weren't allowed to use today. What were we not allowed to use? What was banned? What were the, like we said, you cannot use these. I got mad at you on your test if you put what? Spell it backwards for me.
SSA.
SSA. Because I told you no bad words, and that's definitely a bad word, backwards. And then there was one other one I said, never should I see this. It looks like SSS. It's got a triplet. Hey, we said never was that allowed. There were no AAAs. And that's true with congruence. We're not doing congruence. We're doing similarity. So today we get to use AA, which is really the same thing as AAA. We're going to use side, angle, side, and we're going to use side, side, side. So with similarity statements, there aren't 5. There are only 3 on the list, so I should erase my giant list of 5. There should only be 3 on the list, and those 3 are AA, which is really the same thing as AAA, because if you've got, in a triangle, if you've got 2 angles the same, you automatically have the third. So AA, SAS, and SSS. We're going to use those 3 today, and you already know what that means. Or you're supposed to, at least. Okay, so we have a couple examples from each section. I'm going to look at maybe 2 per section. So AA sounds exactly like what you think. They have angles in common. So they both had a 90. They both had a 30. I'm going to practice writing my similarity statement in a few minutes. But I know we want to get to the match game, so I'm just going to focus on that. Let's look at, obviously, number 2. They both have a 20. Oh, no. They don't both have a 20. This one has a 140. That one has a 140. They both don't have a 20. Are they actually similar? What's wrong with this picture? What can I do? It's a triangle. What should I do about that third angle? So let's solve for it. So 140 and 25 is 165. So that means there's a 15 there. Well, I'm not going to have AA. 20 doesn't go with 15 and 20 doesn't go with 25. So these are not similar. Okay, so if I were to summarize, I would tell you that AA is as easy as it gets. I know everyone in the room can spot when 2 things have 2 angles that match. They both have a 90, they both have a 30. So to step it up a notch, you might have to solve for the third angle. For instance, I'm not going to make you, but if we solved on number 3, this one's 40 and this one's 88. So they do actually all match, but you didn't know that until you solved for the third angle. That's the only way they can make AA tricky. Are there any questions about AA? Okay, and then you love side, side, side. But in side, 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 we were looking with congruent triangles. Their sides had to have the same numbers. Similar triangles, they don't have to be the exact same size. So what we're going to do is the largest over the largest, the middle over the middle, and the smallest over the smallest. So what is the smallest number in triangle JRT? 18 is the smallest number. I'm going to put it in the top. I'm doing the small. I might want to make a note to myself. So 18 over, what's the smallest? 14. So I can reduce that, and it would be 9 over 7. Or if you wanted to do the decimal, it would still be okay. Okay, what's the largest side length in JRT? It is 36. And then the largest in DEF is the 28. And that also reduces to 9 over 7. But again, if decimals are not your thing, if you do both of those as a decimal, the decimals would match. And last but not least, obviously the ones I hadn't circled must be the middle. So I'm going to do 27 over 21. And that also reduces to 9 over 7. So it's like we're calculating the scale factor, and if we can show they have it with the same on all 3 sides, then for sure we know we're correct. Okay, I'm not going to do SSS again, but let's talk it through. I would want to do 38 with what number? I would want to do 38 and 49 because they're the biggest. So I guess I can do it if anyone wants it. Large would be 38 over 49. And then small, the smallest ones are 27 and 36. And then the middle ones are the ones that I haven't circled, so 32 and 44. And if I was smart, I would type these into my calculator or somehow reduce these fractions. And if they all matched, all gave me the same decimal, then I know I'm right and I have SSS. Are there any questions about SSS when it comes to similar triangles? Okay, then we're almost there. We just have to do SAS. Obviously, the whole point of SAS is the A in the middle. So the first thing I look at is, do they have an angle that matches?
No.
And they both have a 79.
But they're on opposite angles, so they don't match, do they?
They're on opposite angles.
Like, one's for the right angle, it's not a right angle. So
The pictures are deceiving. I know it looks like a right angle, but
Alright.
Okay, so they both have an A that matches. And now we've got to look at their S's. So I'm still going to do the same thing we've been doing with scale factor, or what Ellie was just helping us do with side lengths. I'm going to do 18 and 12. The smallest one with 10 and 22. Because those are the two smaller numbers beside the 79. 10, 22. And I'm going to use the two larger numbers beside the 79, 25 over 55. And I'm going to see if they reduce to the same thing, and I hope they do. That's 5 over 11. Man, that's also 5 over 11. But again, if fractions aren't your friends, then you can always change it to decimals, and those two decimals would match. Okay, so if I did that all quickly, let's talk about what I'm doing and like summarize it. So AA, two angles have to match. Two angles have to match. The only way they can make that hard is you might have to solve for the third angle.
At this time, we need all students involved in the leadership meeting to report to the cafeteria. All students involved in the leadership meeting need to report to the cafeteria. If you have any questions, please contact main office or attendant. Thank you. All students in leadership, please report to the cafeteria.
Okay, now I've gotten distracted too. So AA, at least two angles have to match. We might have to solve for the third angle. SSS, I get all their sides aren't the same number because they're not congruent, but we pick the two largest, the two mediums, and the two smallest compare. If we keep getting the same scale factor, we're right. That's SSS. SAS, we do 2 with the scale factor, but they have to have an angle in between the two they give us that match, like the way these two both had a 79. Okay, so we're going to pick 2 at the bottom to work on. Let's do, Ellie, you've been very helpful today. 9 through 14, which problem do you want to work? 9. Okay, she went with 9. Looking at 9, what do you think we need? Do you think we need AA, SAS, or SSS? SSS. They've labeled all the sides. So we'll have to do the largest, which is 18, and the largest, which is 12. So 18 over 12, which reduces to 3 over 2. The medium, I'll decide in a second. I always do the largest and then the smallest. 12 and 8. That also reduces to 3 over 2. And then 15 and 10. That also reduces to 3 over 2. So we proved it worked by SSS. So it says determine if the triangles are similar. If so, write the similarity statement in the theorem used. So by SSS, because that's the postulate we used, triangle and I could then put them in order, and it helps that I've used colors. It kind of like makes my life easier. So CNO, green, pink, blue, is similar to triangle, green, pink, blue, ELT. This would be the important part today. Can you recognize which postulate? And then can you write a similarity statement? Okay, and then I'm not going to even talk about number 10 because I don't even want to go there at this moment. Number 11 looks like what postulate? Look at what they've given you. Which one do we probably need? Were we given any sides? On number 11, were we given any sides? No, so it's going to need to be AA. Okay, I think you got it, or at least I hope you got it. Our plan today is you get to pick a partner. I don't care who you partner with, but you partner wisely because you don't want to have to do this for homework. There are, I believe, 12 matches in the bag. You have to, each triangle has a match. Let me get out my instructions and put those on the screen so you know I'm not crazy. Drill, you prepare a bag. Make sure the nose and the table have the same two colors. Okay, there are 14 triangles, so that means you're going to have 7 pairs. I'm going to steal Jennifer's bag. Inside your bag, you have a cute little chart. Well, that's great. This is the part I actually need written down on your own paper. So I'm going to steal Jennifer's. She'll get it later and leave it up here. All you have to do is find the matches. So let's say I wrote an example behind Daniel's head. Let's say maybe A goes with L. But on your paper, whichever person you want. So like if Jennifer and Catherine are partners, I don't care if Jennifer writes it down only. She can put both your names on the paper. That is fine. Not only do I want A goes with L, but I also want to know by SSS. And then I would love to see that you practice writing the similarity statement. So I have my example on the board under the learning target if you're confused. Only one of your partners has to necessarily write it down. But Jennifer, since she's writing for her and Catherine, she's going to get hers and Catherine's name at the top so I know that they work together. You may go ahead and start. As long as you get your table completed by the end of class, you don't have any homework tonight unless you're one of those poor souls who still hasn't done your blue sheet. Are there any questions? Then you need a partner. So you can either be one of theirs. They have an odd number. Hey, dear. Do what, dear? No, you're going to write on your paper. Yeah, we'll write on that. You have to write it on your own paper. You have to write it on your own paper. Only one partner has to write it down. Yeah, make your partner useful. Diego, oh, you're going to be partners with Caleb, perfect. And then are you with Kevin?
Yes.
We'll see. Jessica will have to debate that. Yeah. But no, I was saying A goes with L, and then my reason was by SSS. Similarity statement. Look. This might be on the slide, so they can't wrap it. You're right, and I need to be grateful. Okay. You can, but Jessica has pointed out the obvious to me. mean, you can't have a similarity statement. They're not linked.
No, la caja con la P.
That's all I need. I need the axis and the reason why.
Or you could just write.
Similar to triangle and yeah, that'd be fine. Thank you, Miss Jessica. Elena, I know you haven't done it.
Yeah, I did.
It looks like side and side, but it could be side by side. Draw a picture on your back. 14. You have enough in your bag. How many pieces are in your bag, Michelle? Okay, so how many pieces are in your bag? I'm over when you're ready. How many pieces are in your bag?
So how do I rate anybody? Oh,
That would make okay, like these two. Seven, eight. Oh, those are 2D. Figure out alphabet wise. Ellie, are y'all peach? Come here. You and Elena. Bring whatever pieces y'all have.
Macho man.
Kevin, how many pieces do y'all have?
I don't know.
Like 14 or no?
Like 20.
We have a lot of pieces.
It's like
Okay, good. Here, how many pieces do y'all have?
Gaviota, ¿sabes cómo hacerlo?
Okay, Madeline, how many pieces do y'all have? Okay, does anyone else not have many pieces, then we are concerned. And it's you two that I got thinking. You got 14 or so? They only have like 8. Is there a 14 matter? 14 plus 2 so 16. If you count math stuff. Math stuff is hard. 8. Okay. And look good for that. Okay. And now we have to double stack, so we can do this one. Ellie, you get one from each of the stack. I got one from each parent stack. And now you have one stack. That was great. Second grade, I think out. Okay, girls. Now you're having that. So, let's do this again. 20 and 100. They will have matching angles. So we say G is similar to G. So we get rid of that. Because they have 2 angles. We will use AA and SAS specialist. Specifically has the angle ones over there. It has 2 angles that match AA. It's not anymore. 2 angles that match. Did I steal your bag? No, good. Michelle. Yes, that's right.
This is all.
There's 14 matches and then that and then his card and round 16. Agreed. Haley, I know I see you and her being productive, right? Kevin, did you see your test the other day? No? No, come here. Did you see your test? No? I dropped my pen on the floor. Did your test from the other day? Diego. Here, let me borrow this. I want to see this for a second. There you go. Being difficult today. Oh,
Oh my God.
Pierre. Junior, come here.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
Oh, before this? I'm so surprised. I thought it was going to
But you sit by him. You got 102. And he's looking, look at how he's reading to see what he did wrong to not get higher than that. Isn't that amazing?